on real estate topics. Occasionally, you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you podcast at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all our South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined live and in studio by my co-host, my favorite co-host.
Thank you.
Sharon McNamara, broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. It seems like it's been a minute.
I know, it
since
has.
I've been here, right? Where have I been?
Well, I felt the same way on Tuesday because I did the show with Sue Bollinger, who's a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and we had replayed the show on Saturday, the Saturday before, because of the holiday. And then, we had done the Tuesday show, but then the week before that, we did a repeat for a Tuesday. So I was like, I'm a little disoriented.
Yeah.
But I remembered how to do it. I remembered how to host the show.
Yeah, but sometimes it's nice to have a little time off and get refreshed. I mean, I don't feel very refreshed this morning, but I have 2 sick dogs, but that's another story for another day. I do not want to bore everybody with that. But yeah, it's nice to be back. We're live in studio. So we are here at 19 Mattakesett Street, right here in Pembroke Center, across from...
Well, for now, until November.
Stop and Shop.
Yeah, Stop and Shop across the street is closing in November.
We are so sad about that. So long, Stop and Shop. However, Big Y or Trader Joe's, if you're listening to me this morning, we would love to have you across the street from us.
We would love to host you here.
Yeah, we would love to have you right in Pembroke Center. Right. I'm watching people go in there right now. People are there all the time. So Stop and Shop is, closing a bunch of stores, and Pembroke Center is one of them, as well as Halifax, I read, is on the list. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting because so my boyfriend goes into the one in Halifax because he'll, pop in there and then he'll go into Walmart or whatever because it's right around the corner from our house. And he says there's never anybody in Stop and Shop. And
that's why
I was like, well,
it.
Now I have to tell. I didn't know the Halifax one was closing too. I'll have to tell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Halifax one is closing, which is interesting because I wonder if, hey, listen, I don't work for Stop and Shop, I'm no analyst, but I wonder if the Halifax store would be busier if the Pembroke store was closed and vice versa. Like, all right, why don't you just try closing Halifax first and keep Pembroke open?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like they've been open for a long time where maybe...
But where else would people from Halifax go? Where are they going shopping?
I know.
Well, we need to listen. Is Jess Page around? Jess, we know you're up with the kids. Jess Page, call us. I know she likes to shop at her Walmart. That's what she calls it. But we are live here again this morning. And again, I am going to put a big shout out to Trader Joe's. A small Whole Foods.
I just don't know about Trader Joe's because they just redid the one in Hanover. So it's so big and it has it's fabulous.
Right, Big Y. I like the Big Y.
I love a Big Y. There's one in Kingston down the street, but
but that's pretty far.
Yeah, Big
Y, if you're listening to us. Roach Brothers, a nice little Roach Brothers might be nice over there.
Well, I don't know because Roach Brothers, I feel like, has a higher price point. I feel like that's why.
But they have very good produce.
Yeah, well,
I like my produce. I like a nice produce section. Shaw's and Hanson, that's where I like to shop.
I wonder who in the town of Pembroke would know what's going in there.
Listen,
they're probably like, listen, I called just announced it yesterday. We don't have anything.
I texted a couple of the politicians last night, I will admit, and I actually reached out to Tracy Marino, who is one of the select board members.
Oh, yeah, she would know anything?
No, she knows nothing. I know nothing. And I think do we have Tim in studio?
We do have Tim in studio.
Hello. Good morning.
How I've missed you so. How are you?
I'm great. Greetings from our new studio.
Yeah, you're in the new studio today.
My first Saturday in here. I love it.
Oh, do you love it? Oh, if I had known that, we would have went up there. Who am I kidding?
We barely made it in here.
I barely made it here. All right. We'll visit. We'll come and visit.
Yeah, definitely come in and check
Yeah.
it out. It's pretty sexy.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures on Facebook. It looks beautiful. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations to WATD. So if anybody wants to, today we're going to be talking, this is, I think, a very interesting topic, the seller's playbook, steps to ensure a smooth and profitable home sale. And one of the things I did yesterday, as you know, a lot of times I have Clubhouse on. We've been having problems, and I've asked Larry from WATD to come and help me out a little bit. I'm not sure how the sound is going through to Clubhouse. But I did ask them, the same question that I put out to our office. You want to let everybody know what that question was?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right here. So Sharon let the whole office know that, we're going to be talking about from the pros, top tip for seller's playbook. So steps to ensure a smooth and profitable home sale for sellers. So obviously we would reach out to the best of the best, which is here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and your friends on Clubhouse all around the country, and just get their sort of opinion on what would be their top tip to ensure a smooth and profitable home sale for their sellers. I don't know if you want to get into those, but we did have 5 of our agents respond to it.
And you had
quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few of my friends from Clubhouse. Again, those are just real estate agents that I converse with on a daily throughout the country, which is really nice because I think it's really important for me as a real estate agent and as a broker of a company to be able to bring, training ideas and different things to our agents.
Yeah.
I also think it's important to know what's happening in other parts of the country because, are we feeling the same thing? And it's interesting because, I just blocked myself on YouTube.
Yeah. is this a
about
commercial for Apple?
Got a new iPad.
Oh, nice.
So, but I did reach out to a bunch of them and I got some really good answers from all of my friends out there too. So we'll get into those a little bit later. I think that we should get, down and dirty ourselves and see what, see what's going on there in our world. And if you have any questions.
Yeah, if you have any questions, we are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube and Instagram, LinkedIn even. So be sure to follow Boston Connect Real Estate, Sharon McNamara, the McNamara Horton Group. You can call or text Tim at the studio, 781-837-4900. Again, that number is 781-837-4900. Text their new studio. Yeah, we want to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Tim, I want you to take a picture while you're in there. Send it to me. Can I make a comment?
got it.
Can I make a comment? Are you expecting a very busy day today?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
But look at the size of your coffee.
Oh, yeah. I got an extra large today.
Extra large. That's a munga. I'm going to hold this up. Look at the size of her coffee in comparison to my coffee.
I'm having a rough morning.
You know what this reminds me of? Okay, so anybody who is watching us, you can see us live. We're live on YouTube as well. So Boston Connect TV on YouTube. You can go there. I can see Dee said she had a hard time finding us. Hey Dee, if you have whatchamacallit, a smart TV, and you can get YouTube on your TV, you can watch us on your TV, which is great because that's how I watch Mel when I'm not on the show. But I'm looking, she has the munga and I have a small, the baby. But if you look at this side by side, okay, this reminds me when I worked at Reebok eons ago, right? So it was before I had the girls, and then I was pregnant with Casey when I was there, so easily 29 years ago. And on my desk, I had Shaquille O'Neal sneaker, which was like a size 24. And then I had a Weebok. And a Weebok was the little high top sneakers for babies.
Oh my gosh.
And I used to keep my pens in my Weebok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's
your Weebok. And this is Shaquille O'Neal sneaker that I need for today.
Yeah. That was a fun time. Oh gosh. I guess if I could go back to one time, it would be that time. That was a lot of fun back then. Yeah.
Well, now we're here.
Now we're here.
Talking about coffee, and we're talking about the seller's playbook.
Yeah, the seller's playbook.
So, all right. So you came up with this topic. So why was this important for you to talk about today? I know that we come up with a lot of our topics for the show in our everyday business life. So what's going on in your business that you wanted to discuss this today?
Well, it's really interesting, and you've said this actually quite a few times, and I never really thought about that. That's how we do come up with our topics is, what's hot right now, what's going on right now, and how can we bring that out to the people, right?
Yeah.
And right now I am sort of seeing, and it's busy out there. I'm not going to lie. Like, we've been very busy as an office.
Yeah.
I've been very busy as a team. So my business partner, Mary Baker, where'd that come from? Mary Horton. She is my business partner when it comes to my real estate aspect of life. So it's like I have two businesses, right? Boston Connect Real Estate, I'm the owner of, and then my McNamara Broker Group. And no, it's the McNamara Horton Group.
Yeah.
Jeez, what's wrong with
She's
me?
not a Baker anymore.
I know.
She's a Horton.
She's a Horton, and it's McNamara Horton Group. So two different, she's my partner in that. And, we've been very busy as well, but I am noticing a little bit of a something in the air, and I don't know, I can't exactly put my finger on it, but I do know that buyers, and I feel like this happened last year. We should go back into last year's podcasts as well and our radio shows from last year and see, is this the time when buyers tended to get a little bit of that buyer fatigue? And I had noticed it a couple weeks ago with one of my listings. A couple of my listings were really like a little bit more difficult to get sold, and I think it had a lot to do with timing. And I always say things come down to price, but that has proven wrong in one of my situations. You know what I mean? So maybe it was like the price once it, the other house is sold, blah, blah, blah. So I just been thinking, how can we bring anybody who's thinking about selling their house, bring them a playbook and give them steps to ensure that they're going to have a smooth and profitable home sale?
Yeah. Well, I'm getting back to the whole price thing, and I think it really does have to do with the timing because, something could be worth one price, and then 6 months later, if it's still sitting there, it could be worth a different price. But it's all about the market. So is it going up? Is it going down? It's just depending on sort of the buyers that are out there. We've been talking a lot about like the open house activity that we've gotten, the private showings that we've gotten on listings, and just sort of feeling out what the buyers are feeling right now. But I think that the whole buyer fatigue thing that you just said, I sort of agree with that. Mark McNamara, good morning, ladies. Oh, where is he right now? Yeah, I can hear something. Mark McNamara, hi. But we do have quite a few comments like on Facebook and your friends in Clubhouse and stuff like that wanted to sort of get their opinion and their top tips out there, whatever. But what would be one of your top tips for ensuring a smooth and profitable transaction for your sellers? Because you are a strong listing agent.
Yeah, that is my jam. I really, and the thing for me too is about being a listing agent. And I did just talk about Reebok, and when I worked there, I was, the executive assistant to the, vice president of men's fitness for marketing and advertising, sales and marketing. And I think thank you. I can feel that. My mind is always on the marketing aspect of things. I do enjoy that part of, my job with the marketing and coming up with new ideas and being creative. And we just came up with new flyers and things like that. You know what I mean? Different things that we're doing. So I love that aspect of it. But one of the other things I truly do love about it, especially in a market that's as clear as day, like some of the ones where we are right now, is data. I'm very data driven. I can look at the numbers and I can say, this is where your house really should be priced. And I think that the difficult part is, for me, the number one tip would be for the seller's playbook. The number one thing would be listen to your real estate advisor. That's it. Whether it's me, whether it's somebody else from Boston Connect Real Estate, whether they're from another company, we're all colleagues with different color logos. That's how I feel. Listen to that advisor. You hired that person on purpose. You just have to have confidence in that person. And the struggle is when you don't. Because recently and in the past, my neighbor said that they have a friend who would be interested in the house. Well, if they were interested in the house, they would have seen it online and they would have called. But it gives me, or as the listing agent, almost the impression that you've lost confidence in me and what I'm doing. I assure you, as a full-time real estate agent who has been doing this for over 22 years now, I think, right? Yeah. I've been doing this for over 22 years. I take it seriously. I have always been full-time doing this. If my work, when I started out, it might not have been full-time hours because I was just starting out, not because I didn't want to, because I just didn't have the business. I assure you, I have your best interest in mind. I have sold over 700 homes in my career, and I do know what I'm doing. And when sellers are, what's that word? When sellers are like, they have their thumb on you the whole time, or people just in general. Like, what is that when they, like if your manager like is always looking over you?
Oh, it's
Micromanaging.
Micromanaging.
Yeah. You hire us so you don't have to worry about these things. And if you have a good real estate agent and a really good real estate advisor, then that person is giving you updates, is telling you what's going on, is giving you the truth. I don't know why some agents have a hard time giving hard information.
Yeah. Just be honest. I think the communication is the best thing that you can do is just communicate. Make sure that everybody has the set, boundaries and standards of what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So we have Dee who's watching. Hello, Dee. Dee is one of our weekly listeners, and she's a little bit behind us this morning. And first of all, we're always on 95.9.
Yeah.
That's how you always find us. And for the little extra trickles and sprinkles on top, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. Go onto your Alexa app and say, Alexa, play Talk Real Estate Roundtable.
Yeah. No, we have quite a few people watching us.
Oh, good.
I'm looking over
there. Does anybody have any comments about this? What do they think? Sometimes when we're on this show, sometimes I think,
is anyone listening?
No, not even so much that. But like sometimes I think, Sharon, do I come across too gruff? Dee, do I come across gruff? Dee's listening. That's the only person I can see up there. How do we scroll that thing?
Well, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
D,
do you think
D,
I'm gruff?
us.
Yeah, Mark. Do you think I'm gruff?
Well, you're asking your husband.
I'm asking my husband. Well, I was sending him text messages at 11:30, 1:30. I saved him the 4 o'clock and the 6 o'clock calls this morning.
I think a part of the process of interviewing, Dee says no, not at all.
Thank you, Dee.
Interviewing your agents. It's okay to interview a couple agents. You should be doing that. You should be doing your homework before hiring somebody. So that's having, a couple agents come to your home, because if you aren't going to sort of vibe with them, I'm a millennial, that's what I say. If you're not going to vibe with them in the beginning, it's going to be that way through the entire process. So that's why I said communication is so important. So, if you don't have the same communication style, if you don't have, your personalities don't click, that helps too. So somebody might really love your personality and love your gruffness or whatever you called it. And, Dee doesn't think that you have it. We'll see what Mark says, but you tend to go through your career with, phases. Okay. So there was a long time where you were helping, people who their parents had passed away, and they, because it was sort of transitioning in your life too. So your parents are both still alive, but it's taken care of. You're the sandwich generation. So you were helping the sandwich generation, sell either their homes or their parents' homes and stuff like that. So there was time where you could relate to them, and I know that they appreciate that.
Sorry,
so,
Tim. Sorry, Tim.
But that's your personality. And if your personality doesn't click with the agent, then that's how it's going to be the entire process. So why not interview somebody else?
And I'm still, that seems like my, and I hate to call it a niche. It's just like where I am has grown with me along the way, So, when the girls were younger, I tended to work with people who were younger and were in that, I need a bigger home because I'm having another baby, or I have 2 kids and I have 3 kids. Or, I've gone through some situations with people that are in my generation and the same age as me, and, going through a divorce, or the loss of a spouse, that they lost a spouse, at a young age, and helping them through those processes and just being able to be where they are. I think emotionally and truly understanding it. And now, with my dad and everything I'm going through with my dad, and, he's now at Wingate in Silver Lake. So hello, if you're listening, Nanu, I love you. And, going through some of those processes, I think has made me a better agent for my clients who are there now too.
Mark says direct would be a correct word.
Oh, I bet you Mackenzie came up with that.
Well, he also said just put a down payment on a lake house in Tennessee. So,
oh, he did. Go ahead. I want you to
on the road again.
I give you permission to put a deposit down on a lake house in Tennessee. Go ahead, do it. I dare you. Be brave, Mark. And I'm serious about that. Please do it. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we can text in. I'm going to just text Mackenzie and see if we can talk about where they are.
Yeah. But like I said, the communication, I did a show with Ginny Wandell, who is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate as well. And we called it, meeting your clients where they're at. So, and that sort of brought it back into my head when you just said that, is you were sort of in the same places where your clients were. So it was easy for you to communicate and have more sympathy and understanding for your clients at the time. And you still do. And I think that is a very important factor as well. The whole robotness.
Oh, AI
I can't. I like, it's not personable, and there is a certain clientele that is just not for that. And it's the agent that comes in like a robot, like, oh, I've done this for so long, and this is how I do it. It's like you have to have a little bit more personality than that. It's not. It's very much not like I'm throwing a sign in the front yard and that's it. Well, I'll let you know when it's sold. Like, no, some people, want to be with you every step of the way. And again, the communication. It comes down to communication. So.
And communication is huge. And it's funny because even though, as I've grown with my clients, and then I got into a stage where people my age, and I'm still in that, where they're selling their parents' house and, being there emotionally where they are. I have to tell you, it's like, I feel emotional about this. It's, I'm thinking of one person in particular, and I won't say her name, but I'll say her first name, but I won't say her last name. But her first name was Donna, and she was a client, and she's a love. She has referred me people over the years, several people over the years, and I helped her sell her parents' house down the Cape. And I have to tell you, the attachment I felt, I had met her dad a couple times, and he was just such a wonderful man, and going through his home and selling it after he passed, and then her mom was coming to live with her, and being able to walk through that home and just feel his presence made my job so much easier because, and I know that this sounds hokey and I feel like we're a little bit off track, but whatever. You're used to it if you listen every week. But what made it so special and what makes it special for me is that it never has been about selling a house for me. it never has been about helping a buyer buy a house. And again, you said earlier, I'm a strong listing agent. It's always been about a family, whether it's one person, two people, 10 people, whatever that family dynamic is, right? It's about helping them. And that's what's always got me through. And you know this about me. I'm not motivated by money. I'm not motivated by numbers. I'm the number one this. I'm the number one that. I don't really care what you are. Like, I don't, that stuff doesn't, like, I don't look at that. And sometimes when I'm doing a CMA and they're interviewing multiple people, they will say, you know, well, how many homes have you sold in this town? What are your stats? Blah, blah, blah. I know that they already interviewed an agent who is so high on that type of stuff. Like, I am the number one agent in this area and I'm the number one, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm just not. And I just think for me, as I said, it's, and I remember when I was at another company, before I opened up my own office, I was at Success Real Estate up in Marshfield, and I had an office there. And I remember I had all my listings, and I had like 5 or 6 listings on the back. I always had them going like on the back of my door, and I took the MLS sheet, and I would always write like a gratitude, like, thank you for your offer. I am grateful, right? And then I would just put those up there. But when I looked at that picture of that house, I didn't see a house. I saw a family I had to help. And that's what motivates me.
Yeah. My mom says not gruff, passionate.
Your mom's a good hugger.
Oh, yeah. Dee says, I agree. Communication is the most important thing. When we sold our house in Pembroke, I wish we knew you then.
Oh, well, you know us now, Dee. So all is well in the universe. And you can introduce us to all your family and friends. We are here for you.
We are here for you. Our show is halfway over. What do we
Mark,
want to move this?
So this is what Mark has his top tip since we're staying in this. So mine was listen to your advisor. We're trying to give you the best information that we have. And maybe we do just do this. You know what I mean? We go along. And if any of the people, any of our agents, or if anybody from my Clubhouse people came, if they go on to YouTube, they will be able to see me. Mark, this was Mark, and I think that this might have come from a selfish point of view. His said, where did it go?
I don't know.
Did he send it to both of us? Because I don't see it now.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Mark said, I don't know where it went, but Mark had one.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
We can go through the other ones for their agents.
Yeah, well, what Mark said is, I just can't say the word, is to get all of your stuff. Starts with the same letter.
Another S word. Yeah. I know what he means. Get your fleet together.
Yes, exactly. Get all your stuff out of the house when you're supposed to have all the stuff out of the house. And I don't know why it always happens in the summer to me and Mary. You've been there with us as well. Like, I am legitimately, it seems to always be divorce situations. And I think that that's just because things get contentious at the end because one gets resentful that they have to do all the cleaning and the other one is like, off in their beach house somewhere.
Well, I remember one that was not a divorce. It just was not. I think it was being cleaned for the first time in a while. So it was tough. I remember standing there with trash bags.
Well, and then the other thing is with, I remember there was one time legitimately we were like, there was, underwear does fall in between the washer and dryer, but if there's a big enough gap to get it, you should. It's like, so get all your stuff out. I mean, I'm just having flashbacks of us like putting everything into like our cars and trying to get rid of all this stuff. And I mean, legitimately, I remember one house had like this cat-shaped porcelain toilet brush holder. Okay. So we know how I feel about cats, first of all. You know what I mean? Hey, I know that people love and appreciate them. And hey, I love that for you. For me, not so much. So I said to Mary, I draw the line. I'm not touching it.
Yeah. Well, did you?
No.
I want to go through some of our agents. So Lori Reaney, again, these are all full-time realtors here at Boston Connect Real Estate. Lori Reaney, imperative to communicate every step of the way. That goes for the agent and the client. Conflict only arises when expectations differ. And then she did the praying hands.
Yeah.
Susan Solis, step number 1, hire a realtor from Boston Connect Real Estate and let them guide you through the process. We're experienced, passionate, honest, and knowledgeable.
That's awesome. Say that one again. I love that. Susan
Step
Solis.
number 1, hire a realtor from Boston Connect Real Estate and let them guide you through the process. We are experienced, passionate, honest, and knowledgeable. Ain't that the truth, Susan?
Yeah.
Ginny Wandell, talk in person, come in the office and see our home. I think that is a very important step as well. So, I know that you talk to your clients or potential clients and say, my first step is to come to your home, see it, walk around, ask you questions and stuff. And then I'm going to invite you into my home here at Boston Connect Real Estate.
Yep.
And show you, go through the numbers, show you how I got to my number or my place and show you the value that I'm going to be giving you. So yes, Ginny, we invite our clients, potential clients, family, friends, everybody here into our home as well.
Yeah. And Ginny does a really good job about that. And, when I am talking, when we have roundtables in the office and when I'm on Clubhouse talking to my friends that are agents from other parts of the country, my father is trying to call me. So clearly
he's not listening.
Clearly he's not listening. So my husband, Mark, is listening. If somebody wants to call him and let him know, that would be great. But what was I going to say? What was that? Where was I?
You're at Boston Connect Real Estate.
Yeah. So with our friends, when we were talking about,
Ginny Wandell.
Yeah, Ginny Wandell. Like getting in front of the person is really important. And we talk about this a lot on Clubhouse as well, is, somebody calls, if I have a listing and somebody calls and says, hey, I want to see this right now. We really, first and foremost, from a safety perspective, I'm not hopping in my car and meeting some stranger in a vacant house. I mean, that just doesn't even make sense, right?
Mary Horton, formerly known as Mary Baker, used to meet
I used to
random Zillow people, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Randos, yes.
Randos.
And we would say, no, you will not do that.
Remember that time you got a call from a rando, and then Mary and I had to go with you. It was in Pembroke, so the three of us at 7:00 at night are showing up to this house, this flipped house.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what? And he turned out to be the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Remember him?
I do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
But I remember just going up and being like, are we going to be murdered here?
We should do a whole show on that. Well, we can maybe talk about it. Like today we're doing Seller's Playbook. Maybe Tuesday we can talk about, the expectations of your real estate agent and have them be realistic, because our job as listing agents certainly is to get your house sold, right? And for the most amount of money and that you want, and for the best terms and conditions. All right. We all know that, but we have to put some limitations on things. And sometimes I've heard of people having moles in their open houses. If you don't trust your real estate agent enough that you have to hire a mole, then maybe you hired the wrong real estate agent. Period. Amen. And people listening in on their devices and things, that's become a big thing.
I think that's icky. I'm sorry.
I
just find it so uneasy, when people are listening it, not just on the agents, but on showings and open houses and stuff, just people coming in and out of here. It's it just makes me
that's why I
a
always,
bad taste in my mouth.
Maybe we do a buyer's playbook next Saturday.
Yeah.
Want to do that?
Well, I don't
don't talk in front of.
I don't know if you'll be here, but
next Saturday? Yeah, I can do the show. Okay. I can do it from wherever I am.
But yeah, it just gives me an icky feeling. So, Julia, when you re-listen to this show on Monday, that's what we're going to do on Saturday. Yeah. Tuesday, Kristen Howlett is joining me. We're still coming up. I think I want to do Nantucket.
Oh, that would be a good one.
She was just in Nantucket for her anniversary. So, Kristen Howlett is joining me on Tuesday night for our monthly highlighting a community south of Boston. And we've been doing water communities, so I want to do Nantucket, even though I've never been. But she loves it.
We could do a joint one, because we could do a little bit of Nantucket and a little bit of the Vineyard. Yeah. I could do Edgartown.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might be a little busy.
Next
working.
Week.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't be around.
Oh, yeah, you were working. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I have 2 more comments. Hold on, hold please.
Please hold.
Trish Flynn, who is a full-time realtor here with her husband Nick. They make up the Team Flynn. Remember to be reasonable and keep a level head. There will always be something that pops up. Working together to get through the obstacles and remembering that there are always solutions. There's always an answer to every question.
Who said that?
Trish Flynn.
Trish Flynn, full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, along with her husband, Nick Flynn. So they are the Flynn team. Trish has matured. Children have matured, Trish, because that is not a comment I would have expected out of Trish.
Well, I think ever since, the level head of Nick Flynn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ever since she became, partners with her husband in real estate, I think that, that's her mentality.
Yeah.
Keeping a level head.
Well, and I think that does come with maturity, and what I mean by maturity is being, the longer you're in the business, the more you're able to just know that everything isn't a fire that has to be put out. You know what I mean? It's, something recently came up with me. Oh, I know what it was. Simple thing. And, it's how you react to the information that makes you the professional that you are. And I have sellers at one of my listings. I have to tell you, if I was ever going to ask a seller to teach a class on how to be the best seller and to put a seller's playbook together, it would be these people.
Okay.
They are just wonderful, wonderful people. And they had everything in line. Anytime you ask them a question, it's very detailed and thorough. Like, when I'm sitting in there doing an open house, when I say the roof is 10 years old, that it's actually 10 years old. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of things that you can't verify, you're sort of taking the sellers, for that it's truthful.
At face value,
right?
yeah.
And, those people, something came up with the certificate of compliance, and it was the bank for the buyer had come back and there was a date on it that wasn't the same date as when it was put in. Like, so the year was wrong. Mm-hmm. But I just let my client know, hey, just want to let you know that the appraisal went well. This, that, and the other thing. Oh, another thing too, just want to let you know that I did get a call from the buyer's agent. She informed me that there might be a little discrepancy on the certificate of compliance for the new septic system that you put in 2 years ago. But I've already contacted Board of Health in Pembroke, and we're working it all out. And he was great. He's like, I have this, this is the reason why, blah, 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 blah. And come to find out, it was the wrong date that the bank thought was the wrong date was actually the permit date. So the permit was pulled a different time, but the system was put in later. Mm-hmm. So, but I wasn't afraid to go to them and say, and I wasn't going to say, oh, the sky is falling, we have an issue.
Yeah.
Mayday.
That's like when you say, like, don't call me that the office is on fire. Call me to tell me that the office is on fire and you've already called the fire department.
Is that sort of a bratty thing to say that's another B word that I came up with? Bratty word. As a manager,
no,
it's
that's
just like be proactive.
Yeah. Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Don't just, put out the fire and then let them know, like, oh, hey, by the way, like, there was a fire, but we called the fire department.
All right. So did we finish all the ones from Boston Connect?
Nope.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Emmy Flaherty, contact several agents, interview them, and determine what they have to offer. Professional photography and extensive marketing should be on the list of the agent you ultimately decide to hire. Also, remember that hiring an agent is one of the first steps and not one of the last. The sooner you hire someone and get the ball rolling to allow time on your side allows you to gauge the market and do what you need to do to get your home up. I think there was a spelling error for market conditions and demand.
Mm-hmm. I think that takes a lot of courage and a lot of experience and a lot of confidence for us as real estate agents. And Emmy, again, full-time agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, for her to come out and say, yeah, you should be interviewing several people and find out what everybody is going to do for you. I was talking to an appraiser the other day. We had like 3 or 4 appraisals last week, I think, and or over the past couple of weeks. And I was talking to an appraiser, and she says to me, I have to tell you, I said, I have, when she showed up, I was like, here are the, professional floor plans for you. I had them printed out, had them ready, and, hey, do you need any comps, blah, blah, blah. Talk to her about some of the situations and comps in the neighborhood. And she goes, I have to tell you, I went onto MLS. She goes, you have the floor plans attached, not only as a picture, but as a PDF. You have everything in there. She's like, everything was so thorough. She's like, your office in general does a very good job of putting listings in. She goes, I can't believe the junk that's out there with some of the listings. She's like, people are taking pictures with their iPhones, like hanging out their window. They're grainy. I just saw somebody who took, I think it was like a $25,000 price break on a house. And when I looked at, because I saw like the arrow or whatever, and it said PCG for price change when I was looking at my hot sheet in MLS. And I would have started with, how about some professional photography?
Yeah.
When I'm looking at a picture, I don't have the ability to put the lights on to see what that room actually looks like.
Yeah.
They were so dark. They were so dark.
Yeah. Did you have people from Clubhouse that you wanted to?
Yeah, I'm actually texting them because our setup isn't working the way that it did before. So I'm just sending them a message that if anybody does want to talk to us, that they can, call into the studio. So do you want to highlight?
Oh, there's some right here.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
all on here. Yep. You want me to highlight them?
No, there's one in particular that I definitely want to talk about, but I didn't know if there was anything in particular that we had to talk about with our agents that they said. Anything?
No, I already went through all of our agents.
Okay.
So why don't we talk about mistakes sellers make and how to avoid? So sellers overlook home repairs and home maintenance. How to avoid this? Have a pre-listing home inspection done prior to listing. So that's something that we have talked about before. We actually talked about it briefly. So the show that I did on Tuesday with Sue Bollinger was about home inspections, and she had brought up pre-home inspections and stuff like that. If somebody cannot afford to do one of those or just simply does not want to, it still helps to, and I use the example of you going around your house and seeing the crack up your chimney, take a walk around your house. And I know that is such a simple thing to say and silly, but there's even times that I go into my own house and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been in this room in like a month, or I haven't been in this room in 6 months. I haven't been in my attic, things like that. Like, you're not going to know that something's wrong unless you sort of see it. So,
and you can't make what's wrong right unless you know what it is. And honestly, it's funny. I'm glad that you listened to me, Mel. How I love you so. Because the chimney was like sort of a big aha moment for me. Because I mean, we've done so many shows on, springtime maintenance and talking about having masons and doing different things around your house. And that moment for me was very, it was interesting because if my painter hadn't have been there, I probably would have never went on the side of the house. There's no reason for me to go on that side of my house. There's no door there. There's no reason. There's no driveway. There's no walkway. There's nothing. It's just the left side of my house is where the chimney is. And when I went over to see Kevin Senna, who is a painter, and he is a wonderful painter out of Pembroke. If you need one, Kevin Senna. And you can call me for his number if you want that. I got a guy. I got a guy. And I was over there talking to him, and I was like, hey, Kevin, just wanted to let you know I'm taking off. Like, there's waters in the cabana, the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Help yourself, right? And I looked up at him where he was, and he was next to the chimney, and he wasn't working on my chimney, and there was a crack down on the whole entire chimney.
Yeah.
So, and I use Steve Springhetti for that. And he's enough for everything. Yep, Steve Springhetti. And he is out of Kingston and West Bridgewater. His family's from West Bridgewater.
Well, I told the story on Tuesday. I'm going to tell it again. The other day, somebody called the office and said, oh, I just wanted to introduce myself. I, drive around and I see your signs everywhere. And I just wanted to give you my contact information. I'm a plumber. And, if your clients need any work done. And I said, you know what? I appreciate your efforts and, you trying to get some business. However, Mark McNamara from McNamara Plumbing is, and he's like, oh, I know Mark, great guy, great business. So, but we had a little laugh about it, and I was like, oh, well, yeah. But good for him.
Yeah.
And good for our agents. They're seeing all of our signs everywhere, and our agents are busy. So
Jennifer,
I know I have a couple open houses that I want to get to too.
Yeah.
So
Jennifer Goodman, who's one of my friends on Clubhouse, she says, I got a guy is key to serving your clients, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So some of these other ones that we have, and I was hoping that they saw in my chat, I put the phone number to call the studio if anybody wanted to, because I know Anna is listening right now, and she is a huge advocate. Anna has been on the show with us in the past, and she is a huge advocate of having that pre-home inspection. And we can do another whole show on that. But having the home inspection beforehand, it's going to cost you a little money as a seller, but certainly you'll know what is what. But I got to tell you, one of my favorite ones is from Megan Gardner, who usually is listening in, but she can't right now. I don't know where she is or what she's doing, but she's probably busy. But Megan Gardner, it says, so I love that Julia didn't put exact quotes in here, because as I recall in my text messages, I want to say that Megan's response was, for the love of God, price your house accurately.
yeah.
And that is another show that we actually thought about doing today, and we will be doing in the future, in the next coming weeks, because next week we'll do the buyer's playbook. But what is important about pricing your house accurately is this market is sort of changing a little bit, and buyers are not just throwing you an offer, and perhaps there are not multiple offers over asking, and you can't expect to price your house at this price and expect to get over asking because your neighbor got over asking.
Donna, I also want to say, I can't pronounce her last name, but she's from your Ludke. Prepare your home for the market. Take care of the deferred maintenance before it goes active. We do have a call.
Yes, we do.
Who do we have?
We have Anna in Pennsylvania.
Hello, Anna in Pennsylvania.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you for calling in. I just want to let you know, just from a time standpoint, is we really only have like a minute and 30 seconds because we have to get our open houses in. But I'm so glad that you called, and we'll figure this Clubhouse thing out. Real quick, though, tell everybody who you are and the areas that you serve, just in case anyone in my area wants to go to your area.
Sure. If they'd like to come here to Chester County, Pennsylvania, I'm 40 minutes west of Philly, and been selling real estate here for 12 years now. And I love your conversation and preparing your sellers.
Yep. And I know Mia can't hear our listeners. I'm sorry about that, Mia. I can't do it because we can't have the audio is not working. Sorry about that. Yeah, and you're near like Villanova and all those different places. So that would be good. So I know you're probably calling because I just said pre-home inspection. Is that why? And you have to keep it short because Melissa will strangle me.
Yes, but here's the thing. Yes, I think you should do pre-inspection. Let's say you don't, however, I think you should take your seller's property disclosure very seriously, complete it, fully, and consider using seller shields when you are filling it out, so at least the seller is protected with additional insurance if they did forget to put something on there, or at least a home warranty that's transferable to the buyer. So there's lots of ways for sellers to protect themselves, but definitely the free home inspection would be my number one.
Yeah, and that is such a great point. And again, I do want to do another show. So as we're getting, maybe into like later August or something, we can do another show on just that topic, because I know that you and a couple of the other agents in Clubhouse do talk about that and the importance. And it's just something that we don't see that often around here for various reasons that we can't get into right now. But I think it's interesting because that program, what was the name of that program again? And Anna, can you text that to me? Because I meant to look into that at one time. I don't know if is it everywhere? I don't know.
Yep, it is national, and it's Seller's Shield.
Okay.
Even if they don't take the insurance, they can actually complete the seller's disclosure online through Seller's Shield. So it actually prompts them, if they answered yes to something, hey, you didn't explain why you said yes to this thing. But here's what I'll say overall. This is something every seller needs to understand. We are only as good as the clients we serve. So sellers out there, if you're going to create a, like tug-of-war situation you're going to have a bad outcome.
Yep.
If you're going to be collaborative and work with us, you're going to have a great outcome. The better we can work together, the better your outcome will be.
I 100% agree with that sentiment, 100%. And to all of our listeners, I mean, there you go. You heard it from a pro. And it is 100% accurate. I've never lived in your home, so everything you tell me is helping me. And a lot of times, as I say, when I'm walking through someone's house and I'm doing a CMA, I always start with, as I'm walking through your house, I'm going to just point out a couple things. It's not because I think that they're terrible or anything. It's just that when I walk through your home, I'm walking through as the eyes of a buyer, because buyers are looking for what's wrong, not for what's right. I don't know why, but that's the mentality of it, right? You sort of know, you feel if you love the house, but then they start saying, okay, now I like it. What can I find wrong with it? If we have an answer for that, hey, what's that water stain? Oh, did you have a problem with the roof? Was there a leak? No, to be quite honest with you, the kids were in there splashing around and the water went down by the tub. Having the answer is, I think, helpful. Anna, I hate to cut you short, but thank you so much for calling in
so much,
today.
Anna.
Yeah, and next Saturday we'll be talking about the buyer's playbook. So if you want to get some ideas together for that, and then what we'll do is we'll do live stream, so I can bring you live on whatchamacallit. I'll plan a little bit better for next week, but give everybody your phone number.
Sounds great. You can find me on anna10k.com. That'll be the easiest way to get to all my contacts, anna10k.com.
Perfect. Thank you, Anna. Have a great day. And Melissa,
as well.
yeah, I know you want to get to our open houses, so I'm going to let you do that now.
All right. We do have a couple new listings here at Boston Connect Real Estate. Emmy Flaherty has 36 Karen Street in Hanson. That is on the market for $629. She is doing an open house today from 10 to 12 and tomorrow from 11 to 1. Again, that's 36 Karen Street in Hanson. The Grady team have a new listing, 45 Cheryl Lane in Hanover. That is on the market for $899.9. They are doing an open house there today from 11 to 1 and tomorrow 11 to 1. Again, 45 Cheryl Lane in Hanover. Matt Mahoney has a new listing, 93 Forest Ave Extension, Unit 93 in Plymouth. He is there today from 10
That's
to
cute.
12. Yeah, 375. You guys have a client who bought the condo next door to his client. So again, 93 Forest Ave Unit Extension, Unit 93, Plymouth. And then Jess Page has a new listing, 102 Sawmill Lane, Unit 102 in Hanson. She is there today from 11 to 1. That is on the market for $550. And then, of course, Cushing Trails in Hanson every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 12. That is Sharon and Mary's listing, new development. And then Cochise Estates, West Bridgewater, every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 2. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so we've been busy. We have a couple new ones coming on. I have a new one coming on in Plymouth next week. It is a beautiful home with a beautiful swimming pool. So just got our photos back on that. So that's coming on next Wednesday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I feel like I have something else coming on, but I don't exactly know off the top of my head. So if you have any questions for us, if you would like analysis done on your home, give me a call, 781-294-4848. That's my cell phone, 781-294-4848. Or go to bostonconnect.com and find any of our agents here at Boston Connect. Have a great day.
Have a great day. See you on Tuesday.
Bye. The Buyer's Playbook next week.
Be mine. I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you.
The South Shore's